Welcome to Wei and Kathy Show. I'm your host, Wei Fang. And so today we'll talk to you about a special trip that made by Nancy Pelosi, upcoming trip in August to Taiwan. And that announcement is not an announcement. That's the leaked news about that visit already infuriated China or Chinese Communist Party, CCP. So what is happening at this time, and what is the story behind it? That's the main thing I want to bring it to you. And then before that, we have several pieces of important news that we want to share with you. And Kathy and I have been doing this almost like a daily show, starting this Monday. So Kathy will be doing Tuesday and Thursday. I'll be doing Monday and Wednesday, and on Friday we'll be coming together again. Hopefully, this will give you better coverage of the news and more in-time reporting of what is developing in China and in the U.S. Okay, and elsewhere related to our country, to the U.S. Okay, first, let's talk about the poll. Okay, the most recent, the Quinnipiac University survey just was released today. Okay, it was conducted between July 14th through 18th with a margin of error of plus or minus 2.5%, percentage points, standard stuff. All right, so President Biden's approval rating among Americans has dropped to an unprecedented low of 31%. And especially support among Hispanics, which is supposedly supposed to be President Biden's main supporting group. And then the approval rate in that group stands at just 19%. Well, among Democrats, only 40% said they would like President Biden to run again, while 54% of Democrats don't want Biden to be the next nominee. And generally, 71% of the Americans said they do not want Biden to seek re-election in 2024. All right. In terms of Congress, the upcoming midterm, respondents was torn between parties with a roughly 50-50 split. Okay, so which party voter will likely to control the House of Representatives? Well, we don't know for sure. It's a toss-up. So the poll also found that most Americans' biggest concern right now is the inflation. And as costs continue to rise, and inflation last month reached a 41-year high of 9.1%. Okay, and only 28% of the people approve of Biden's handling of the economy, while 66% disapprove of his job thus far. Does Biden know this? Of course he knows this. Okay, this is also part of the reason he visited Mid East during this almost at the same time, or during this poll time. And then one main reason he went to the Mid East is to solicit or beg or whatever, or ask Saudi Arabia and the other Arab nations to increase their oil production, so as to depress the oil price. Did that happen? No, it did not happen. Okay, so how to generalize what's the result of the Biden's visit to Mid East? Well, basically, Washington Post said that the optics were not ideal, to put it mildly. Okay, so of course the media attention was zooming in on the crown prince of the Saudi Arabia's alleged killing of the Saudi's dissident and a Washington Post contributor, and for that Biden has been talking very, very tough before, but this time they met and they did this show the hand with the fist, and then that generated quite an uproar, and so right activists and critics of Saudi autocracy then saw a betrayal of value, a reminder of the impunity afforded to the crown prince. But in terms of the economy, okay, or the oil price, oil production that American people care about, as you can see from the just the survey that just reported to you, there's not much tangible result. Okay, nothing has happened. So at least not today yet. Okay, so that's that. And the next piece of news I want to just report to you, the result of the primary of just last night at state of Maryland. Okay, it's a very interesting battle there, because what is the most attention catching is the a Republican primary between Dan Cox, who is a state delegate, and Kelly Shultz. Okay, and Dan Cox was endorsed and backed by President Trump, while the Kelly Shultz, a former state lawmaker and also served as Maryland Secretary of Labor and the Secretary of Commerce in the Governor Larry Hogan's administration. Okay, so while Trump endorsed Dan Cox, and Governor Hogan recommend and endorse and Kelly Shultz. Okay, so it's like a proxy war. Okay, then needless to say, Shultz has Hogan's backing and is very powerful to begin with. However, the primary result is the Cox one. Okay, so Trump was again, of course, very happy, and then not just Trump won. There's other, this news about the Democratic Governors Association also won. What does that mean? It means that they went out of their way to run ads to support Dan Cox because they see Dan Cox will be a weaker candidate in November time than the Kelly Shultz. So this not only happened in the state of Maryland, it also happened in the state of Illinois. Similar thing also is happening in the Pennsylvania. Okay, the Democratic the Governors Association went out of their way, spend money to support the candidate that they prefer on the other party. And in all three states, Illinois and Maryland and Pennsylvania, they happen to be the weaker one, as they see, are all endorsed by Donald Trump. But could they be right? I mean, is that a calculation, that kind of a scheme? Will that be effective? I don't know. We'll see. Only we can tell. Only people can tell in November, after the November election. But what I want to say is this. Okay, Democratic Party has been, in this primary, they have been, using all kinds of scheme or trick. They went out of their way to vote for the other party in order to manipulate the candidate from the other party. I don't know how you think about that. I've been in this country for 30 years. If you tell me that this is no big deal, people figure out all kinds of ways to win, at least that's not my knowledge. I've been producing a very long, a serious episode called The History of America, okay, in Chinese. So I study and researched and dug out all the early history of in this country, including those politicians. When they were running, for public office, did they go this far? Okay, not only they, run their own primary, they went over to the other camp, try to stir up things there, and to create a situation so that, it is to his advantage. It's an advantage. It did not happen like that. Okay, the competition can be fierce, can be very drastic, can be very merciless, but doesn't go this far. Okay, so this more become a norm. On the Democratic side, I haven't quite seen Republican doing the same thing, but I don't know how you think. Is that no news to you? One party just go into the other party, either send in their people there or just spend money to pump up someone that they prefer, and I don't know. Just write up how you think. Did you hear this thing before? I came to this country in 1990. Okay, I've been staying here for 32 years. I thought I saw enough, but I don't see this kind of thing become a norm. But unfortunately, it does. Okay, no, we need to have at least some decency in our politics, right? Okay, next, Representative Liz Cheney. Just in case you're curious, she's a representative from Wyoming. And then Liz Cheney was a leader of, criticizing Trump. And then she also sat on a panel of the January 6th Select Committee. And, along with another Republican representative. So the primary of Wyoming is August 16th. So currently, Liz Cheney trailed Republican challenger Harriet Hageman by 22% in the poll released just last Friday. Well, this clearly spelled trouble for the anti-Trump Republicans primary just next month. So the Hageman endorsed by President Trump and won 52% of the support among likely primary voters in Wyoming, while Liz Cheney only got 30%, according to a local poll. And then Liz Cheney actually tried to convince Democrats to vote for her in the Republican primary to gain support, and a move that Hickman's campaign characterized as a desperate move to hold on to power. So basically, well, the commentator, as I read, all the pundits said Liz Cheney, she's a done deal. She has no chance to win the primary, Republican primary, so that she can continue, renew her congressional representative job, and from Wyoming, which has only one seat, okay, because of the population not that big. So that's some other state. I don't know how you think. Any comment? And okay, Louis, you wrote that. Did I see a very fast clip of very young Wei in Kathy's interview yesterday? You got a sharp eye, Louis. That could be me. But it was a real story. Okay, it's a real story. It's quite a thing, and yeah. So anyway, let me finish today's news first before I get to that. And another thing, okay, another poll. It's a short piece of news, but I thought I want to run this by you. I want to get your opinion. Okay, the most recent poll by the Convention of the States Action and the Trafalgar Group, and found out that the 59% of the people that they surveyed support delisting TikTok from the Apple or the Google Play Store, okay, App Store or Google Play, because the data from TikTok has been compromised by the people, in China, by their parents' company in China. So among all the respondents, and 77% of the Republican, they support this initiative, this move, and 57% of the independents support this move. 39% of Democrats supported this move. How about you? Do you support it? And okay, just write up your opinion. And the other very short piece of news, but it can be a tip of an iceberg. As I reported to you that in China there has been this widespreading, keep spreading this this movement of stop mortgage payment, because the house or the condo or the apartment they are buying, they are just they become hopelessly unfinished. They just stay there. Okay, because of that, they stop paying the mortgage, which actually is quite righteous, right? You don't get your house, and then you need to pay for it. It doesn't make sense. However, as time goes by, and more people, now including the developers, the supply of the developer, they also, release their statements saying that they will stop paying too, because of the developers' misconduct. They said we will stop paying the bank, and whatever result, the developer shall be responsible for it. The developer, I'm talking about the Evergrande, that kind of big developer. Now they have been default on the overseas U.S. dollar, U.S. currency bond market, and then they also now they are default on all the other things, all the other debt. So it's just a mess. Okay, so over China, 300 major projects. The housing project, they got stalled, unfinished, stopped, and then all those people who already bought it, okay, put down the down payment and start paying the bank. So China is still dealing with this crisis. We'll see that whether it's going to be, just turn into a systematic crisis. So now that's the other things. Now let's talk about Nancy Pelosi. Okay, Nancy Pelosi in April, she announced that she will be visiting Taiwan, okay, to show support to the island. And then right before she left, she said she got the COVID, and then has to postpone it. And there's an analysis saying that maybe that's because of she canceled it with that excuse because there's huge pressure from the CCP. And CCP was really, really mad, okay, because they see that the U.S. shall not have official, relationship between the U.S. and Taiwan. And then this has become, just a protocol among, between these two countries. All right, but now Pelosi wants to visit Asia again, and one of the stops would be Taiwan. And the financial news somehow got the news and broke it, and now CCP got infuriated these days. Okay, they just really jump high and issue very, very strong-worded, statements saying that there was sabotage. U.S.-China relationship. This is the worst. Worst aggression. Okay, against China. And so on and so forth. Okay, but if Pelosi were to visit Taiwan, this would be the second time that the U.S. congressional, the Speaker of the House visited Taiwan. But this time it would be different because last time was done by Newt Gingrich. At that time, he was the House Speaker, but the president was Bill Clinton. So his visiting Taiwan can be interpreted as only a House job, a housework, not necessarily representing the administration. Now with Biden in the White House, and if Nancy Pelosi led a formal delegation visiting Taiwan, that could be interpreted as as endorsed by the U.S. government. Okay, because of that, again, Chinese government are very, very mad, and they even have their so-called, proxy or their unofficial mouthpiece saying that if that happened, PLA, People's Liberation Army, their Air Force will fly over the island while Pelosi was there. Could that happen? Let's just wait for a little bit. I want to backtrack a little bit, okay, by about 20 months. Just remember before Biden stepped in and Trump move out in the January 9th of last year, 2021, which is 11 days before Biden moved in. And Secretary of the State Pompeo announced that it would remove long-standing restrictions on how the U.S. diplomats and others have contact with their Taiwan counterparts. Okay? Pompeo specifically said U.S. would end the self-imposed restriction on its interactions with Taiwan officials that were introduced decades ago to appease the mainland Chinese government. All right, so that's a very bold move. Okay, 3 days later, on the January 12th of 2021, and State Department announced that the then Ambassador Kelly Craft would be visiting Taiwan. Okay, and this would be unprecedented if that happened. So it would be a 3-day trip. And Ambassador Craft would meet with the Taiwan president and his foreign minister, and also deliver a formal speech, okay, to Taiwan Congress. And the Kelly Craft, before she took on the trip, and the Kelly Craft already met with the ambassador of Taiwan to New York, okay, the general counsel of Taiwan to New York. His name is James Lee. And if you remember that, at that time the U.S. Health Secretary Alex Azar already became the highest level U.S. cabinet official that visited Taiwan. So, but did Ambassador Kelly Craft go? No. At last moment, she said, I have to cancel. Not just she canceled, and let me not proceed. Let me just read about what happened behind, okay? The Taiwan media reported that Chinese government and through their PLA, People's Liberation Army, and notified the Pentagon, saying that they cannot tolerate Ambassador Craft visiting Taiwan and hurt the sovereignty of China. Okay, they said when the Ambassador Craft's plane arrived Taiwan, the fighter jet of the PLA will be follow the U.S. plane into the territory space of Taiwan, and to declare the sovereignty of Taiwan belong to China. And if they face blockage, they do not rule out opening fire. So that really scared Biden administration off. It was a transition team, scared them off. They put pressure on Pompeo, saying that we have to cancel this. Don't start trouble for us. We're moving in. It's only 1 week away. So stop doing this. As a result, Secretary Pompeo not only canceled the Kelly Craft's trip, he canceled all the remaining U.S. diplomats' trip for the remaining 7 days, including his own trip. So I don't know how you see this. Okay, I want to offer a bit of my comment, and President Trump and Pompeo, Secretary Pompeo, did a lot of very, very bold and courageous things while they were in office, like the tariff, like the sanction, and all those work. And today you think it's simple stuff. At that time, during the Clinton time, George W. Bush time, and Obama time, those are all viewed as rock the boat. No administration at that time, Democrat or Republican, want to rock the boat. They dare not to challenge the CCP. Okay, they just want to appease them, keep appeasing them. And then Trump administration, Trump is the first person who really took a U-turn. The U.S. and the China relationship, that big ship, they managed to make a U-turn and come back, which is the correct move. It took a lot of pressure. Okay, it took a lot of courage, but they did it. And on the January 9th, when Pompeo saying that we're going to end this self-imposed limitation, that's a key shift. Actually, they are opening ground for President Biden and his team. They should have appreciated that. They did not. They said, you are stirring up things here. Okay, you're creating trouble for us. No, they're not creating trouble for us, for you. They're opening ground. When they leave the office, you inherit this very, very, this advantage, this leverage, which you can play with. But they say, no, don't do it. Just don't do it. And since then, even though State Department make a formal decision saying that we're going to rescind this self-imposed restriction of officially dealing with Taiwan government, Biden administration and the now State of Secretary did not honor that change of policy. Okay, they're still very, very careful and walk the fine line, and they don't want to just upset the CCP. And but the thing is this, okay, because I came from China, folks. I came from China. We deal with the CCP. We understand them crystal clear. Okay, they are just like CCP is something in Chinese we call it 欺软怕硬. If you are strong, they respect you. If you are soft, they come on you. Okay, and people show softness because they think I'm trying to show my kindness. In exchange, I want to receive your kindness. Among normal people, normal friends, in a normal community, that happens. That's the right assumption. But to a monster like CCP, it will bring the exact opposite effect. You have to be strong. That's the only way to earn their respect. If we try to be kind, they will see they can take advantage of us. This is what CCP is. Yeah, it's just it's somebody that just doesn't deserve the respect of free people. They don't want to earn that respect. They want to treat you badly until you become strong. That's what the CCP is. I don't know. After this 1.5 years, Pompeo figured out. We interviewed the deputy Secretary of State, right? Stilwell. And if you remember, we also interviewed Miles Yu, the first China advisor of Pompeo. They all understood it. They all understand it. They know how to handle this. I asked them that, do you think the Biden administration understand it? Do you think Blinken understand it? They said, not sure. Well, that's where we are. Okay, so now China is issuing a lot of threat to the Pelosi's visit of Taiwan. And how to deal with that? Very, very simple. Just ignore them. They cannot do a thing. But if you show concern, if you become timid, if you back off, they're going to come all over you. That's the situation today. All right, so yeah, so we'll see. And the thing is, Biden wasn't sure, right? He wasn't sure. He's never sure that holding on the principle is the seemingly risky way, but it is the safest way. They didn't have that recognition. They don't understand that part. So they're gonna shake, and China CCP will take advantage of that. So the visit is far. The issue is far from over. We'll see. I'll bring you an update as situation, waiver. And all right, okay. So that's how much I want to bring to you today. And let's see, what do you? Oh, Daniel Sullivan, thank you for your donation. Thank you very much. Also on behalf of Kathy, and Steve Bliss said, "Oh my God, Pelosi did something good." In this sense, I say yes, because in terms of China, when dealing with the evil of China, both parties are on the same line. Of course, I would say Trump administration back then, they were much stronger, but Pelosi. I was from her district. I deal with her office, local office and DC office. I visit them, I talk to them. They indeed sympathize with the people in China, but facing pressure, they tends to back off. That's the difference between Pelosi and Pompeo. Okay, that's the difference I see. But they see the same nature of the CCP. They know it's a monster, but they're just not strong enough. I don't know how you think, yeah. And, okay. And Book, you said that Gingrich was also much more diplomatic than Pelosi. Yeah, she's, Gingrich. I interviewed him, and I respect him a lot. So, and I saw a lot of removed TikTok, Yes, I hope. Oh, I'm sorry. There's Daniel, you donated twice. Again, thank you, really, thank you very much. Okay, let's back to the story. Louis, you wrote that. Did I see a very fast clip of a very young Wei in Kathy's interview yesterday? Yeah, that's true. You have a sharp eye. Okay, so this is almost like a what? Oh boy, 23 years ago, I work in Silicon Valley, and I pick up this meditation exercise called Falun Gong, and then in the July 20th, this very day, 23 years ago, and the CCP started very, very brutal, overnight crackdown. They arrested like thousands of assistants. Okay, Falun Gong it's not a tight organization. It's really very loose, like how to say. You can call it organization. I won't even say it's organization. Falun Gong has no name list, keep no rooster, and people just go to park and do this exercise, just like you do Tai Chi, okay? And the Falun Gong is a standing meditation and a sitting meditation, slow movement, very good to people's health, have a very, very good value behind it called truth, compassion, and tolerance. But it grew too fast. It became too big, that became a threat. They are defined as a threat by the CCP. So they cracked down on this very day, 23 years ago, arrested so many people. So I don't know, we are at a loss. We don't know what to do. The only place we can think about, let's go to DC. Maybe we can find some help there. So Kathy and I, we just bought the ticket, asked for leave from the company, and flew over there. And we went to the south, and I think the south lawn of the Capitol. It was, July 20th, late July, it was so hot. We were, standing there doing the meditation, and every 30 or 40 minutes, one of them just faint, just pass out. We have to move them and put some cold water. So that's that was basically the situation, the context. Then we have this Caucasian, this Western journalist. He looks suspicious to me, actually. He was shooting people. I said, well, why do you do this? Are you a spy hired by CCP or something like that? So I wasn't so sure about that. And Kathy was saying that, don't go over there, okay? They're suspicious. I said, well, I got nothing to lose. So actually I approached him. I said, I want to do something. Can you tell me what I can do about with the Congress? So this gentleman, Ethan Gutman, later I know he's a very renowned investigative journalist. And so he tricked me. He said, you know what, go to, you can see Kennedy, that's on the GOP side. You can see Jesse Holmes on the Democratic side. And they were just there. He pointed at this Capitol, right? Actually, no senators work there. Senators all work on the side, on the other building, right? I forgot its name, like long, anyway, those buildings, that's their office. They don't work in the Capitol, per se. But Ethan Gutman said, they work over there, just go there. So, okay, I said, I got some clue. So I I went over there, and halfway, Ethan Gutman called me. He said, hold on, do you mind we follow you so that we can report you? I said, why not? So let me wire you up. So you just wire up the mic. And then suddenly he said, can I ask a question? And I said, okay. He said, who are you trying to see? I was talking to myself, what do you mean? You just told me. But the camera is there. I know I cannot evade. So I have to answer the question. So I said, I don't quite remember what's the name. I said, Jessica Holmes? So he just burst into laughter. Okay. And then, so he said something like that, you don't know what they're doing, right? So at that time I said, what do you mean? You just told me to go there. Now you're asking me this question like you don't know this or all this. So I got a little confused, okay? Also a little embarrassed. But the camera was there. I know that whatever I say, anything I say is being recorded. And it will be used against me if this guy is an ill-intended person. So I have no place to run, okay? I just have to handle the situation. I think, how about I just tell the truth? Okay, the truth, well, does no harm. So I just faced the camera. I said, yeah, I don't understand this. I never did this before. Okay, I'm a software engineer. I flew in China. I flew in California last night. I will try to help. I just try to help. That's it. So ended up, Ethan Gutman having it all on the record. He was really, really impressed. Okay, he feel that you guys are genuine. You guys are not faking anything. You don't know what they're doing here. Anyway, that was the story. Okay, and years ago we become friends, and we laughed over this, and he still appreciate our being very genuine, very original, and very authentic. Authentic, that's the word. And Ethan Gutman, he put in so much time in stopping this, investigate what really happened in this persecution, including organ harvesting. Okay, just a crime you cannot believe. If you read his report, you cannot believe. Can human do this to other human? Kill them alive? Take the organ to make money? Can human do another human in mass? Large scale, tens of thousands of people in the name of the government. Can you see that such evil government could exist? It's very, very difficult to understand, to even believe. But Ethan chased it down and dig out all the facts. Yeah, I have a lot of appreciation for him. But that was a little hilarious or interesting encounter at the very beginning. Okay, yeah, again, just, over the years, Falun Gong practitioners, they persist on, okay? The persecution has happened in 23 years. And then many of us, we are committed to stop the persecution and building the media that will speak for the weak, and also preserve the true Chinese culture and its moral value. And that's what Kathy and I have been committed to. And then we found you through YouTube during that election of 2020, and I got to know so many of you when I was in DC, January 6th, and very, very hard moving. All right, so that's a little story, and thank you very much for being here and being with us. And Kathy will be with you tomorrow. Tomorrow will be a big day, okay? Tomorrow, thousands of people will be in the Washington, D.C. I will not be there, okay? Fortunately for me, because it's going to be very, very hot. But they will be there in the bright sun. They'll persist. They'll open the banner and they'll stay there for several hours and to send out the voice. So, yeah, God bless them. And, yeah. Okay, thank you. If you like our show, please click the like and recommend this to your friends. And thank you very much. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good night. Take care.